motivation and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The last topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Lou Dibella does an interview and he fires shots off at Eddie Hearn. Let's take a listen. I guess I'll show some of this and then probably take it off screen. All right, let's go. All right. So this is Ariel Helwani. Subscribe to his channel. Let's take a listen.
Could I ask, why are you and Eddie not in a good spot right now?
It's very different people, man. Like, we're just like, part of it is just, I don't think, a little bit like oil and water. Honestly, we're just very different people. And a lot of it is like, I'm not, it's easy to be a good guy when you're sort of struggling and you need friends. And it's harder to be a good guy when you're spending other people's money and sitting on the top of a sort of an ivory tower and earning. I mean, look, this guy has the benefit of making crazy amounts of money while his partner streaming service has lost billions in recent years. And he still has the kind of deal that allows him to thrive, even if the partner he has isn't so much thriving. And it's very difficult. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's totally a closed shop at dazn. It's not. I'm not saying that. It's mostly a closed shop. And Eddie is absolutely the king of dazn boxing, the face of it, the king of it. It's his little empire. Harder to be a good guy when you're controlling your own little empire. And honestly, I don't think he does such a great job at that. I think, and I also think that he's very, very interested in building it's about his face, his brand. I mean, dude, just go and look at face-ups of fights. And fucking, honestly, the fighter looks like a little fucking dot on each side, and there's Eddie in the middle. And, it's reminiscent to me a little bit of how Don King promoted at the top of his game in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where, he correctly believed that he was a bigger star than most of his fighters. And I think if you go to Eddie's persona as an influencer, too, his status as an influencer and his ability to dominate boxing press in the UK, it's very much about him being a bigger star than most of his fighters.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say it's very reminiscent of Dana White, especially in his early days, in the middle, present, doing a bunch of this feels like the whole thing feels like Dana White's.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something. There was more of a fairness to Dana. There was more of a reason for Dana to take that position back then. Mm. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a company that needed to be built, and a brand needed to be built, and honestly, the guy, the Fertittas, the people running it back when, lost enough fucking money in the beginning, while it was growing and percolating and whatever. I think Eddie's had these dreams of being Dana. Honestly, I think look, he said them on the record over the recent years. He was going to come to America and he was going to blow everyone out of the water. All the black fighters would have signed with this white billionaire from the UK that honestly, not the most relatable guy if you're a poor kid from the hood, right? But he was going to come here and he was going to have this giant budget. He was going to blow us the fuck all out of the water. Nope. Sorry, didn't work. And nor is Eddie ever going to build a UFC of boxing. And frankly, I don't think boxing. I think boxing is beyond. It's been too long. We're the wild, wild west. There is no balance.
All right, I'm just going to stop it there. But those are some of the comments that Lou Dibella made about Eddie Hearn, which is, basically he's not in good terms with Eddie, and he let everyone know what he felt and what he thought about Eddie. I'm gonna turn it over to the commish Trill Dollar Bill. What was your reaction to what Lou Dibella had to say?
I mean, Lou has his issues with Eddie, as we can see. But, man, it just seems like the he said a lot of valid things. Lou said a lot of valid things, and I like to shout out Caden, because he actually backed up a lot of claims that Caden made on here that I actually didn't know. You know, I was educated to it and then privy to that I didn't know before. This is just how I can see it from an outsider looking in. You know, I think Eddie approach rubbed the guys who was been there the wrong way. Like what Lou was saying, like how he came out instead of, you know, coming along and being humble about his approach into the boxing game. He came out very arrogant, and he probably rubbed people the wrong way, and it's showing, you know. But even to his credit, like when he was saying how he wanted to come out here and he was going to throw a whole bunch of Lou, you was involved in that. I remember when Lou was in negotiation trying to get Wilder to fight. You know, he was going to grab some of that huge bit of money that that Eddie was.
They giving away free money.
Is that Deontay? They throwing away free. But yeah. So I just think I really feel like it's like a homage thing. Like I really do. I really think that it's a homage thing and a respect thing. Like Eddie, you're showing a little bit of disrespect to these guys who's been in the game a little bit longer than you, with your arrogance and how that you're acting. And I think that that's what it is. I think that's what it is with these other promoters, is that you're rubbing them off the wrong way. You're rubbing their shoulders the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? You're coming off the wrong way to these guys who've been in the game for a long time. Seems like you're coming off a little bit arrogant and disrespectful, and these guys don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Especially these guys who got it out the mud. No, really had to get it out the mud. If you look at where these guys came from, they really got opposed to, like Lou was saying, you already good.
True, I think all of them, all in the Eddie Hearns.
No, but they didn't come up like that, though. You got to think about these guys.
They have billionaire daddies.
No,
they did not have billionaire daddies.
Yeah, exactly where I'm going from. Yo, gee, I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real. How these guys feel. They've been in the game longer. Am I lying? They went through they didn't come in here with billionaire daddies. Am I lying? They didn't have the obligation where they can have the luxury of blowing through billions of dollars. Am I lying? No. So I'm not lying when I say that he didn't have to go through the road that these guys go through.
Can I add one more thing, Trill?
Mm-hmm.
This is how spoiled Eddie Hearn is. When there was quarantine, and people like to bring up quarantine, Eddie had the greatest advantage in the world. Where they had to find venues, he went to his billionaire daddy's house and said, "Can I use the backyard?" and held actual professional quality fights in his dad's backyard. Privilege out the anus, bro. Get out of here. Go ahead, Dollar Bill.
Nah, I'm just saying that these guys probably look at it a certain way. And you know I like Eddie. I applaud Eddie all the time. You know what I'm saying? I have no malice in my heart for Eddie. I just think that he just got to show a little bit of respect. You know what I'm saying? And cut off with a little bit of the arrogance. Because that's all I hear from these promoters. All these older guys, that's all I hear. It's being a little bit humble. Why are you being a little so arrogant? You know what I'm saying? You didn't get it like how we got it from. Maybe you can learn something. You know, instead of coming off like you a goody two-shoes, you know everything, you're arrogant, and you can buy everybody. Well, you haven't been able to. You know what I'm saying? And your company has been losing money. So that's what I think this is basically coming from. You know, they just want him to come humble. Or, you know what we say on this channel, come humble or
leave humble. All right, TV.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to quote the great Tupac. Eddie was given this world. He ain't make it. You know, opportunity. You know, yeah, he could be the snobby rich kid. He could have all of these resources and opportunity. but he's trying to make the best of it, and he's trying to give the world the best fights, the best this, the best that. And he may rub a lot of the other promoters the wrong way. Like what he said when we was watching it, he was like, "I'll give Gervonta Davis more than he's worth just to piss off Leonard Ellaby." That just shows you he could care less about who's managing them or promoting them because he'll buy them out at the end of the day. And of course, that's not the right way to do business because when it's business, everybody got to be on the same page. So there's no differential on each side that stops these fights from happening. And
that arrogance right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was the arrogance right there.
Yes, I agree. That was
one that's bad for his business partner, and two that will make Gervonta Davis look at this guy like, "Who do you think I am?
Now you can buy me out.
Comment,
like, what do you think? Buy me? It buy me exactly. Yeah. That's why Lou Dibella said unrelatable. He's unrelatable.
Unrelatable, but it's the world of boxing. It's a business, and sometimes you got to step on your opponents to beat your opponents. And I guess Eddie seems like a cool guy, and he knows how to talk to people. He has a good stable on him. But at the end of the day, if you want to work with others, there's still other stables, still other companies, there's still mom and pop shops around you that you got to respect. That's not going to easily fall for your tricks. And, I get where Lou Dibella is coming from. Eddie, you got to just, I don't know if this is who you are, but you got to be a better man at the end of the day because, people are not going to just fold over because they see a dollar sign.
All right. Spirit G.
All right. I humbly disagree with Trill and Ned on this one. I'm looking at it from a different perspective. And so, I agree Eddie Hearn is arrogant. However, you have to be arrogant if you want to, change the game, right? When you think of any innovation in human society, the person who did it was arrogant, And so, when Lou was talking about Eddie Hearn, and he actually made a comparison. Well, maybe it was the commentator, the I forgot the other guy's name from the USC commentator that was interviewing him. It was I thought you was gonna compare him to Dana White, right? But then Lou kind of messed up and said, well, it's different because Dana White had to be this way to save the UFC that went bankrupt, right? Which is true. But what's the difference between Eddie Hearn, who was coming in with Matchroom going into a new market, which essentially had no visibility, nothing in U.S. boxing? They needed a personality, a person that arrogant to put out to be that face, right? He played his position. Another thing too is Lou and I believe Ned brought up Leonard Ellaby and all that stuff, right? To me, these guys, and I like Lou, but a lot of these dudes, Bob included, they sound like gatekeepers, right? Because when you think about it, the same issues that they have with Eddie, Bob has the same issues with Al. He feels like Al gives the fighters too many rights, right? It's like, yo, these are the dudes that's getting punched in the face, punched in the mouth, right? So if Eddie's coming in saying, hey, I can get these guys more money, and, so they could build something for themselves, I'm all for it, Now, a lot of these guys that have, a kung fu grip on the boxing game, they don't like that because now it affects their profit margins. So they're like, yo, who the hell is this dude, man? Why he throwing his money around? Why he signing these guys for X amount of dollars? Why he's overpaying dudes, this, that, and the third? Because it messes with their business. Because then other fighters in your stable now go, shoot, let me check out what Eddie Hearn's working with. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, are they really mad at the fact that he's arrogant? Or are they mad at the fact that this dude is messing up their pockets? The answer is Eddie Hearn's messing with their pockets. So they're just looking for a reason. So that arrogant talk is stop it. All of y'all are arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, myself at work, at times I'm arrogant. There be time I think I'm the best at what I do. You have to be that way sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's just stop it. Bro, that's not the reason why y'all got beef with Eddie. Y'all got beef with Eddie because Eddie's messing up the game right now. What Eddie is doing could affect your pockets because now you got to pay fighters more. You got to do more things for fighters that you didn't want to do, that you wouldn't have to do if Eddie wasn't around. And that's, or at least in my opinion, that's the real issue.
Then if that was the issue, then why is none of these guys done left who they was been with?
Bingo.
If that's the issue.
Bingo.
Why none of these guys?
The first thing I was thinking when he said it, Trill, I didn't even have to.
First and foremost, wait. They're not leaving Al, right? Because Al holds them down. But a lot of dudes leave Bob all the time. We know this.
Yeah, once they became so big, like it happens. You know what I'm saying? We know that's with Top Rank. You know,
okay.
What's
cool. One thing, Trill. Let me, because I got your point, Trill. Hold on. People leave Bob, but not to go to Eddie.
Yeah.
They leave Bob to either become their own boss or to go to Al.
Exactly.
So how is he messing up the game? How is he this game disruptor? He's done absolutely diddly squat in America.
He's been used.
Only thing he's done in America was feed us AJ. That's what he's done.
And people say, let me go over there and see if I can steal some money from him.
Tevin Farmer.
You know what I'm saying?
Demetrius Andrade.
Hey, man.
I'll just say this though, because you make a lot of claims, G, but they're not supported by like actual evidence. It's all speculation. Name to me the superstar boxer in America that Eddie Hearn has built, that he could put on a pay-per-view right now and sell 275,000 pay-per-view buys.
I never made that claim. So why?
But you just said he's disrupting America. You said he's making these promoters nervous and making these promoters feel like they have to overpay fighters. So if he's doing that, clearly he's making moves in America that's making them worried. So I'm asking you I'm asking you to support your argument with actual facts that will prove that Eddie Hearn has changed the boxing game in America.
I'm saying Eddie Hearn is attempting to change the boxing game. And that's why all of these promoters don't like Eddie. Because if y'all really believe they don't like him because of his arrogance, makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a reason why you really don't like a guy, right? And you don't like him because, for example, right, I've heard Leonard Ellaby out his own mouth say Eddie Hearn overpaid Devin Haney. And he was like, and I like Devin Haney. He grew up under us, but he overpaid him. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. How you gonna say that? You know what I mean? But he believed in his heart of hearts, Devin Haney isn't worth the amount that they paid him. Why would you think that?
If they're talking business, if that's what they're talking about. But we're not talking about somebody that's thinking that he can just buy anybody. It's how he's talking and it's how he's moving. Forget anything of that. Ignorance and being arrogant does play a part. Now, let's just say if it was a guy at your job, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make the same amount, you know what I'm saying? It's just how he acts. You're not just gonna say, no, it's not the way he acts. It's just the way how he performs. And no, it's not that. It's how he presents himself too, as a person. Because these guys can be in a room with each other and not have no issues. It seems like if they get in a room with him, that there's going to be some type of issue. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's how he talks about these individuals. I think that's rubbing each other off. That they don't care that these fighters is using him. They looking at him as like he's a fool. That's how they looking at him as. Like they're not looking at him like, oh, he's making it hard for us. You know what I'm saying? Because now all our fighters is leaving. Like if that was the case, then I would be like, yo, G, I'm 100% with you. But none of these guys is leaving. None of these other promoters to go with him because he's dropping a better bag. We just talk about Devin. That's just one person, one kid. But shout out to Devin now. Because I like Devin.
I hear what y'all saying, but I still disagree. But it's cool.
No, I mean you got.
I mean, you're your own guy.
So promoters won't lose their mind over a guy that's a fool.
All right, how about this? How about this? Again, this is what ends up happening because it's like, you know, you're very strong in expressing your opinion, and that's fine. I don't have no problem with your opinion, but I'm going to express mine, and so I'm just going to say this in response to what you said, but then I'm going to go on and make my points. And after I make my points, then you can come in with your rebuttal or any flaws you see within my points. But you say you don't understand why people feel so strongly about him. I'm going to show you why. I'm not even going to tell you because I feel like if I tell you, then you're missing it. So I'm going to show you why they don't like him. He came into the game like this.
Well, I never said pay-per-view was dead. And then the next minute, forget pay-per-view. It's done. It's finished. 1 minute, he says, do you know what? Excuse my language. Pay-per-view. And then the next minute, he's going, I'm not a believer that pay-per-view is dead at all. 1 minute, he says, I'm never one to say pay-per-view is dead. And then the next minute, he's going, forget pay-per-view. It's done. It's finished. Right? 1 minute, he says, do you know what? Excuse my language. Pay-per-view. And then the next minute, he's going, I actually didn't say pay-per-view was dead. Walking con.
So there's so much more. This dude came into the game adamant about F pay-per-view, and these guys don't know nothing. These guys are all dinosaurs. Look at the bass in his voice when he said F pay-per-view. Now that same geezer has to eat his words and put on the DAZN pay-per-view. That's why they don't like him. It's not that he's so great. Go ahead, Trey.
I'm sorry, bro. I just wanted
no,
to
go ahead, bro. Do you. Go ahead.
He came out swinging at these guys. These guys didn't say nothing bad. He came out swinging at these guys.
Revisionist history is a mug. And what annoys me about Eddie Hearn, and it's not that I came in actually liking Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
But much like Deontay Wilder fans, it's the Eddie Hearn fans that are making me like, because they act like I'm some crazy man who's impulsive and doesn't act off logic. I'm one of the most logical human beings you'll ever meet in your life. If I say something, you better trust and believe I have reason for what I say. Okay? Now, Eddie Hearn comes into the game disrespecting all these guys who built the game off the backs of pay-per-view, saying F pay-per-view, it's dead, calling these guys dinosaurs. And then he has to learn after losing $1.3 billion, these geezers had it right the whole time. Now they're looking at him like, oh, now you back at this table with us. The guys who were ruining the game. You were supposed to change the game. You were supposed to be a disruptor, but you end up being the same as us, needing that pay-per-view money. We could have saved you a $1.3 billion worth of heartbreak. He comes in and he thinks he's going to take over the United States market. He's throwing all these hefty contracts at all these U.S. boxers, and all they're thinking is, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being so dumb. But Devin Haney took that money and ran to Bob and said, you know what you're doing. Put on this undisputed fight. I don't care what anyone thinks is going to happen after Devin finishes his contract with Top Rank, because I think that once Devin finishes his contract with Top Rank, if he's big enough, he's going to try to promote himself like Mayweather did. That's what I think. But we're going to move back on to Eddie Hearn. This guy took his cash cow, Matchroom's cash cow, a.k.a. Barry Hearn's cash cow, to America, and in the last minute made Andy Ruiz the fight. 20-1 underdog, the second biggest underdog odds in heavyweight boxing history, and he lost in America. And all that did was make every news station in America laugh at Anthony Joshua, which I hated, because check the tape, I actually root for Anthony Joshua. I actually like Anthony Joshua. This is around the time we first started the show. I challenge all of you to go back. Go ahead, Trill.
I just want to say, and we love Eddie Hearn, because if y'all go back, we gave Eddie Hearn Promoter of the Year. And we just talked about how much Eddie Hearn was doing great.
Now, go back. I want everyone to go back. This is one of the first videos we ever made. We gave our predictions to Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. And I sat there and said how it was a bad fight for Anthony Joshua. And people laughed at me until it wasn't funny anymore. This is the guy y'all are talking about, is this great promoter. He overpaid fighters in America, brought them to DAZN, and they did nothing for DAZN. He has no star in America. He hasn't changed boxing in America. None of these promoters in America are threatened by Eddie Hearn, because he's the punchline they thought he was from the beginning. Look at everything Eddie Hearn has done in America. Why would they hate him? They love him. I know Al Heyman loves him. Fed Joshua to Andy Ruiz. You understand what I'm saying? And then you all, and the other thing I don't like about this Eddie Hearn discussion, if you bring up Leonard Ellaby, Floyd was already a self-made man, so it doesn't count. Well, what was Canelo? when he went with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn used to call Canelo a drug cheat, said he should be. I got the video footage of that too, if y'all want me to play it. See, I don't even know why Canelo would want to be with this dude after all the negative things he said about him. But as soon as Canelo became available, here Eddie Hearn come running, turn into the world's greatest Canelo fanboy. After he said that Canelo should be banned from boxing. I mean, this guy used to go in on Canelo. You know what? Because you know what? Everything I say, right? I'm losing my mind. Or Caden, I don't know what's wrong with the bloke. Yo, let's take a look at it. Let's just take a look at it. So I'm not crazy now. So I'm not crazy now. Let's take a look.
Should he be financially penalised? Absolutely.
Canelo pretty much just has you around for banter.
But do you understand what I mean about energy?
It doesn't matter. You fail a drugs test, you fail a drugs test. And again, I don't want to sound like too much of a fanboy, but how cool is Canelo Alvarez? I mean, firstly, the geezer turns up like looking absolute nuts. Mate, I told the champ that I was true to my word, right? Now listen, I know it doesn't suit me, right? And I know I look like a pump. But I told the champ I would wear the pajamas for the weigh. So we're out here in the Dolce & Gabbana pajamas. Now listen, if we were allowed out down South Beach, I would be absolutely smashing it. This isn't a Tour de France. This isn't a 100-meter dash. This is fighting. And if a fighter is actively and knowingly cheating, they shouldn't just be banned from the sport. They should be arrested, as far as I'm concerned. It's that serious. Really seen the personality of Canelo Alvarez come out with him speaking English, and he's hilarious. Was he cheating? Was he unlucky? Either way, his reputation is tarnished forever. It's just, this is for his legacy, and that I want to see him create legacy. And hopefully we'll be celebrating on November the 6th.
We know, should Canelo be allowed to fight?
I keep saying, if he was unlucky and he ate something that affected his sample, yes, 100%. If he was cheating, no, 100%. What to believe? If you put a gun to my head and say, what was he doing? I would say he was cheating.
That's enough, bro. That's enough.
Yo. Listen. Now he's like a dog.
That's my case.
Now he's like a dog.
Why we auditing Eddie Hearn, dog?
Why now?
You got it, Caden. You got it.
Now he's like a dog. Hold on. Now he's like a dog in heat over Canelo Alvarez. And this is what annoys me about the people who, I can be objective about everyone else. I can be objective about Floyd Mayweather, how I don't like him, all in the video with Gervonta Davis, how I don't like him taking all the credit, but I can't say that about Eddie. I can call out contradictions and things about everyone else, but I can't call them out about Eddie. Whenever someone tells the truth about Eddie, it got to become something else. I'm not the one who's different. I'm not the one who's losing my mind. It's you. Everything I said is factual. All it took was a simple web search, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to believe that I was crazy. I mentioned dazn losing money. Y'all want to talk about profits that Matchroom made. I never mentioned Matchroom one time. All I said was dazn, which is a fact that Eddie Hearn is a shareholder. He's the ambassador, and he's the man on the advisory board. He's the one who said pay-per-view was dead. F pay-per-view. F the geezers who believe in the pay-per-view model. Although that pay-per-view model is what built the billion-dollar empire that he took over, he thought he knew better. Oh, no, sorry. He got to go back to that. He loses profits for dazn. He overpays fighters from the USA and still doesn't have one decent fighter on his roster from the United States of America. But y'all call Leonard Ellaby local. Where I'm from, if you only have good fighters in the UK, doesn't that make you local too? When you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. Just because you see Eddie Hearn's face everywhere and he's making these deals for his fighters, that's breaking his partnership, that's making his partners broke like dazn. Come on now. That's all I'm saying. In the end, here's the realistic, my realistic point of view of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is a man who inherited his position. There is nothing wrong with inheriting your position, but know that you inherited your position. Know that you didn't build it. Understand all that was bestowed upon you, and don't come into the game like you're God's gift to the game. Don't insult the people who've been doing this a lot longer than you, only to have to go back to doing the things they've been doing after you insulted them. And don't tell me that you're going to come and infiltrate the U.S. market when you were born into an empire. Because I'm a close, and this is what I was trying to tell you all, and y'all, oh, but why does it matter? I'm going to tell you why it matters. I'm just some black kid from the ghettos of the United States of America. And as a black kid from the ghettos of the United States of America, I can honestly tell you, they are not going to relate to Eddie Hearn. They are not going to relate to Eddie Hearn. What'd you say, bro?
No matter how much money they throw, that made me sick to my stomach when he said that. Like, we can be bought. And that's what y'all said. Go ahead.
You know what his daddy said? You can sign them into the slave contracts of yesteryear anymore. That's what that's a quote from Barry Hearn. But getting back to this, Eddie, you don't realize that you're dealing with people. You can't just throw money at people and think that because you think you're flashy and whatever. Also, you can't berate Canelo Alvarez the way that you did and then start sniffing his butthole the moment that he comes on your team. And everybody looks at every failure of Eddie Hearn with the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, but this. Yeah, but that. Yeah, but this. You ain't giving nobody else that benefit, though. Oh, if it's Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather was already a star. Canelo was already a star before he went to Eddie Hearn. All Eddie Hearn did was sell his fighters out that he originally had on his stable to Canelo. He said, go beat up Billy Joe. Go beat up Callum Smith. Oh, I'll see how much PBC wants to sell you Caleb Plant for. And then the first time Eddie had to make some decisions about Canelo's career, he got him beat by Dimitri Bivol. The same way he got the cash cow Anthony Joshua beat in America. The same way he got Dillian White beat fighting Alexander Povetkin.
Or Mikey.
Now Mikey beat in front of the farmers. You know, Mike and Farmers came there to celebrate. Look at what we can do. Look at what we can. You know what I'm saying? Spoil Mikey Garcia's comeback. See, that's why I no longer think Eddie Hearn is a good promoter. I came into this originally thinking Eddie Hearn was a good promoter. Check the old tapes, because all I heard was this contract money. But then I said, wait, he's losing money for his partners? And then I'm like, oh, y'all, oh, well, I can't blame Eddie. Oh, wait, shareholder? That means he gets to vote as a shareholder. He's also on the advisory board. Oh, and he's the ambassador. Well, I can blame him for the zone's losses now, right? Can I? Can? Yes, I can. See, but y'all don't do it that way. Then Leonard Ellaby's local, but Eddie Hearn's global, although Eddie Hearn has no fighters in the USA, no good fighters in the USA at all. And lastly, I'm going to prove your bias with this, and then I'm just done with the whole situation. Gervonta Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers, go look at the comment section. Look at all the people laughing, saying 275,000 pay-per-view buys is trash, not realizing that if you take what it generated at $80 a pop, that's $21.9 million. What Anthony Joshua generates at $20 a pop, $20 a pound in the UK with 1 million buys is 20 million. Convert that to US dollars, that's 24 million that he generates on pay-per-view buys. Damn near close to what Tank did in 2007, 275,000 pay-per-view buys. And you know why? Because that's the benefit of being in the biggest market known as the USA. That's why Leonard Ellaby, that's why Lou Dibella, that's why Bob Arum are not trying to go to the UK. They're not stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. That's why they're trying to remain in the USA and dominate the biggest market. That's why Eddie Hearn's trying to come to the USA, but he's been unsuccessful. So your talk sounds cute because y'all support group for one another. Y'all are part of the Eddie Hearn support group. when people tell you the truth about the man. But the fact of the matter is, he's no threat in the U.S. and he's lucky promoters in the U.S. don't find it profitable to go over to the U.K. because they'll run him out of business over there too. And that's all I gotta say.
My views on Eddie have changed with his mindset of thinking how he can buy everything. Everything ain't posted. Everything ain't for sale, Eddie. Everything ain't for sale.
My views ain't never changed. He showed us that's who he was since day one, Trill.
You see, I know, but I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it seems like, hey man, if that was the case, man, I would. If anybody could be bought, I'm glad I'm a changed person. You know, I'm a changed person. I changed my life for real. I'm a changed person, man. Shit, everything. And nobody would do it. Money can't buy everything. I would go back to my old life if it was all about money. I'll be lying, but some things money can't buy. Mm-hmm. And that's real talk. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Let us know how you feel in the comment section, and let us know. And check us out on our podcast on all major streaming services. Make sure that you check out the Brothers album out now on all major streaming services. I'm Trill Dollar Bill. That's the TBE. That's Critical G. And that's my brother Kaden. And you know who we are. We're the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us.